Oi oi fellas, Dag here with a free-to-play Friday review. Today's review will be Shadowverse. So what is it? Well, Shadowverse is a strategic multiplayer collectible card game, much in the vein of Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone, and comparisons between the latter and Shadowverse are many and varied, as is to be expected of most games inhabiting this genre. So why the comparison, you ask? Well, the comparison comes from the base game mechanics. You, the player, take on the role of a champion or leader whose task it is to cast spells and use minions to defeat the opposition leader. As in many other traditional CCGs, these minions and spells make up your deck, a collection of 40 cards chosen from a larger pool. You have an escalating power allowance that increases as the game progresses. The more turns in the game, the more resources you have for more powerful minions and spells, as each card has a corresponding value. As a card is played, its cost is deducted from your power pool. Not enough power? Can't use the card. Each minion card has an attack and defense attribute, supposedly indicative of how much it costs to summon. Bearing in mind that some cards can have extra effects, this tends to have a knock-on effect on the casting cost to attribute ratio. The attack being how much damage it inflicts, either to leaders or minions, and its defense is how much damage it can withstand before being destroyed. So far, so generic, right? Well, sort of. There are a number of champions, each with a different deck and subsequent playstyles. Unlike Hearthstone, however, leaders don't have a hero ability, which some players may dislike, but then many have complained that their chosen hero's ability, although in keeping with the lore and the aesthetic of their champion, has less value than some others. Like many free-to-play games, you are rewarded for regular play with daily login rewards, never particularly much in and of themselves, but after a week or so they do start to add up. So what's different? I've not really said much in the way of differences between Hearthstone and Shadowverse. Well, there is another mechanic that, although I haven't played Magic the Gathering, I have definitely not seen used this way in Hearthstone, called card evolution. Now, if you're familiar with the Pokemon franchise, the idea of evolution as a game mechanic should be second nature to you, as it acts in much the same way. Evolution increases the attack and defense of a card, and occasionally enables special effects or abilities. Evolving a card takes a special kind of resource that only become available after a certain point in the game. I think it's about turn 5 or so, and is very limited. The player who gets to go first gets 2, and the player who gets to go second gets 3 to offset the inferred disadvantage of going second. Interested so far? Well, a few things worthy of note. As with many free-to-play games, there is a cash shop where you can buy premium currency in order to buy premium content. And while being more what Total Biscuit say would describe as pay to skip rather than pay to win, because cards are craftable rather than being left to the whims of RNG, card backs, alternate leaders and card packs are all buyable with in-game currency, which is actually a plus point in my book. All in all, I'd say Shadowverse is a slightly flawed but ambitious and well-executed bash at a fairly monopolised genre, and if collectible card games, beautiful anime art, or waifus are your bag, I definitely suggest you at least give Shadowverse a try. Anyway, that has been my quick review of Shadowverse. I'll leave you to have a look and see what you think yourself. Here are the technical specifications required.
I am the guardian of the sky.
Time to say goodbye.
Gone.